Yo, what is going on, you guys? Alejandro here, and welcome back to another episode of Magayon. In this episode, we're going to be building Tutuban Grand Central Station. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe and click that bell notification so you'd be notified whenever I upload a brand new video, and you'd be notified whenever another episode of Magayon pops up. Let's get started. Okay, in this episode, we make tons of progress in the city. Like a ton. This is like a huge episode, I guess. I don't know, even though it's like 20 minutes, only 30 minutes long, but it actually took me an entire day to do, or 2 days, because I have a lot of free time. I had a previous attempt at this, so here's a picture of that. Yes, it kind of looks like an airport, and since trains are a little bit older than airplanes, like they're like prominence, I didn't want to have like a very futuristic looking train station, since trains would have been here way before airplanes were even invented. So that's the theory behind that. And the train station is going to be like, we're gonna have like an old station, like a heritage building. This is like the station that was built in like the 1600s or something, in the 17th century. So yeah, this is like the station, and that station is no longer functional, so we have this extension at the back. It's sunken for now, but later in the episode you'd see me change it into like elevated, because they retrofitted it to become high-speed rail, cause why not? Now this building here that I'm using is an Indonesian asset by Fayed. You can look him up in the Steam Workshop. He has a lot of great Indonesian assets, and I'm almost like subscribed to most of them. So yeah, link is in the description. The asset list is still under development. We're doing our best. I'm trying to push out a lot of videos for now, since classes are about to start on August 9 here for university. By the way, update, I just graduated, ging. We're going to university on August 9 at the Bicol University Institute of Architecture. So yeah, congratulations to me. Why am I congratulating myself? If nobody would love you, love yourself. And if you love yourself, you can love others. You get what you have, you give what you get, and you get what you give. Wow, inspirational. But yeah, with that tangent done, a segue. It's not a segue, it's just a tangent. I'm planning on pushing a lot more episodes in the coming weeks. So I actually asked you guys on a poll what type of like video you wanted to see, and you guys said, I asked you guys whether a train station, an Olympic park or something, residential or commercial, and more than half of you guys chose the train station or the transport hub, because this is not only like trains, it's not going to be serving trains only, but you saw me place an inner city bus station there from the Sunset Harbor DLC, and later on we're going to be placing an elevated metro line inspired by MRT in the Philippines, which it goes around the entire city on a circumferential road. Yes, if you watched the previous episode, you'd understand that the city it doesn't have like a ring road, because it's only a half a circle, so it's a semicircle, circumferential. Now this is like the end station, but I still have no idea where we're going to be placing the Olympic Stadium, because I think that's the next episode or the following episode, because the Olympics is in a few days. Actually, if you're watching this, the Olympics are probably happening or has already happened, and yeah, it's been delayed for a year, and it's one of the most expensive. The Olympics has always been expensive for the past few Olympic games. And yeah, so with that being said, Magayon would follow a similar approach to LA, I guess, in 2030 or 2028, 2020, I don't know. But that LA will host the game soon, and they're going to be using previous facilities, and they're going to be building some. And yeah, we're going to be doing that. So I think I'm going to be placing an Olympic stadium, which was used in a previous Olympic Games that was held here in Magayon. Give the city a little bit more of like of a vibe, of a history, of a life. Give it like realism, and make it feel like it's an actual place. And in the end of the episode, it really felt like an actual place. I actually spent like 3 hours just walking around the city, riding the transit system, but the trains are not actually working that much because, yeah, nobody wants to use the trains. They're using the ferry. Like, I placed the ferry station when I built the roundabout. I placed the ship passenger cargo station, passenger cargo or something, and they chose that over the train because we have a lot of water in the city, and the boats are older than the trains. So the first one is gonna be, we're gonna have passenger cargo, ships. We're gonna have ships, we're gonna have trains, we're gonna have airplanes. We have the tram there, and I was deciding on whether just putting all of them in front, but I decided, why don't we just put everything in one building, because that's how it actually is. I don't think we have underground system in the city because it's been planned beautifully from the past. Like, early on, it's been planned to have transportation focused with it, like tram systems and bike lanes. So we don't have a lot of like sunken areas, because also the city is like located on sea level, so if you sink a little bit lower, you're gonna be prone to flooding. But Japan has like tunnels. But yeah, we're gonna be taking inspiration from Japan. But wait, I'm just doing a lot of intersection markings. Yes. Nothing too complicated. Well, nothing too complicated. And it basically took me like 30 minutes for each intersection. So it's 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, almost 2 hours just doing lane markings and lane connections. But I'm not gonna be putting a time traffic light because I don't want to put like too much time into this, because the traffic here is so low since everybody's just using buses. Everybody's biking. Here's a picture of the amount of traffic in the city after I fixed the population issue. We have 10,000 people now. Here's a picture of that. Here's the Magayon Memorial Park, I guess, like with the obelisk, and there are tons of people. Like, it's crowded. There's a lot of people. And yeah, but most of the people are concentrated along the waterfront because it's super dense. It's very laggy as well. We're going to be doing some refurbishments of old builds because they are not optimized for the future of Magayon. They are a little bit too detailed, and I don't think they would be able to help Magayon launch further into the future, because they're a bottleneck to the game, like hardware wise. But they're beautiful, and we have videos for them, so that will be their own like memories. That's where they're gonna stay. But for now, we're gonna be focusing on expanding the city and growing it up, making it look. Some of you guys have said that the series just has started, because I think it kind of is. We have like the first phase where we were just figuring things out, just building whatever, just for fun. In the second phase, I built a lore for the city, and I think this is the third phase where we follow that lore and then apply the present day and all of that into the city. And now I'm actually playing the game. I'm making bus connections, I'm fixing traffic issues, and building the population. I think services are the next one. But yeah, just doing a lot of that. And if you want to get early access, or get the latest for what I'm doing, like this and like that, join the community Discord, because that's where I share the latest updates and stuff. If you guys have any suggestions, because sometimes I have a hard time looking for assets. And thank you to, I think, Rastas or Dom2040 for recommending this building to me, because this fits perfectly. Now it has triangular roofs, and it has like 3 sides, which fits the lore perfectly. And it's it's Southeast Asian. I mean, the Indonesians were colonized by the Dutch, but during the 15th, the 17th, 18th century, all architecture just looked the same, except Thailand. Though Thailand is quite special because they weren't colonized. But yeah, since asset limitation, I'm just gonna use this building, and this building serves its purpose quite well. And I'm placed this fountain right here, but I don't think I'm gonna be using them because I don't really need that big of a water feature. And I'm just gonna place like greenery and park, because it's 2036, I guess, in the lore, in the of this city. It's 2036 because it's the Olympics. 2036 is the next Olympics after 2032 and 2038 and 2034. Yes, 2024, 28, 32, 36. And 32 is going to be Brisbane, 28 Paris, 24 Los Angeles, or vice versa. I'm not sure. So why don't we put Magayon in 2036? Because why not? And yeah, Olympic Stadium next episode, or next or next. Basta in the following weeks, Olympic Stadium. And now you see me place this like glass thing on top of the old station, because it went through renovation and expansion, and they added a glass roof to, a lot of buildings have these glass roofs to enclose like atriums into a more controlled environment. So why not? And also to expand it while this is how I explain it. It's like respecting the past but also looking forward into the future. It's giving me very Japanese like vibes, because Japanese architecture, Japanese cities, Tokyo is like they're very respectful of their tradition and all that kind of stuff. But look at Tokyo Olympics, it's like neo, like very futuristic. Sadly, the pandemic, it could have been one of the greatest Olympic games, like visually and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. Now this build that I'm doing right here, placing these decals, they won't stay because we needed the greenery here. It didn't have to look like this. Like, I don't want like gray stuff. We don't have a lot of concrete here because once again, it's 2030 and the city is focusing on sustainability and respecting the climate and all that. So we're gonna have a lot of trees to shade this area and provide proper well-being for the people. Lower the temperature in this area, give shade, make the air fresh, all of this, all of that. And yeah, because I was actually I'm taking inspiration from the Tokyo station, I guess. Here's a picture of that. And that's why I'm have this like decal here, but later on I changed it because we're just taking inspiration. We're not like following the exact thing, and this still has to have the Magayon vibe to it. And you'd see me like place trees here, and I was like, it looks too basic. It's like thoughtless. Like I just placed trees on a grid, and they didn't like fit the design properly. And yeah, now I was like, something's missing here. This looks very, very something's missing. And I placed a small clock, and I was like, something is still missing. And then I placed a much larger clock because the bigger the better. Yeah, if you know what I mean. A bigger clock, that is. Yes, not what you're thinking. Of course it's the clock. A bigger clock, more visibility, more people. And then imagine there's a big giant ass clock in front of the station, and then you were late. And that is the Philippines. Yes, if you're Philippine, you understand. Philippine time, 9 o'clock is 10:30, 1 o'clock is 3:30, 7 o'clock, no, 5 o'clock is 7 o'clock. Yes, that is it. We're kind of like, always late to stuff, and then we blame traffic. It is what it is, but hopefully it's kind of like a pet peeve of some people, and I'm not a victim. I'm not, that's not my pet peeve. I am the one who is like always late to everything. And yeah, hopefully we change, but for now it is what it is. Now you saw me place those pillars right there using procedural objects. Those are just like road pillars. I used procedural to make them smaller because they, if it's too big, it doesn't like fit it properly, since the city is scaled way down and the architecture doesn't match the vibe. This series is all about matching vibes of various assets, since I can create my own. And yes, speaking of creating my own, I'm planning on making a flag for Magayon and custom like vehicles and props for Magayon. If any of you guys know how to make assets, hit me up in the comments. I already have like some designs up. I just want you to lay out them. I'm going to be giving you a commission, I guess, or if you just want to help out the channel out, because that will be better for the both of us. I don't know. Anyways, if you guys know how to make assets, or you can offer your services to me, hit me up in the comments. And yes, I've changed the design. This is the third revision because we have a lot of revisions, you know. If you've studied architecture or if you're like designing stuff, you always go through the revisions because sometimes things just don't click. And if I haven't said this like early on in the video, this is like the second like attempt at the station because the first one was like a little bit too modern, so I changed this one to a little bit more traditional, giving the city a little bit more history. And yeah, just placing these pathways here, placing sidewalks so that it would look a little bit more beautiful without being too, you know, what do you call this, too much, putting too much effort into it, you know. But it has a lot of nodes, so my previous episodes, like early on, I had a lot of these like nodes, so that's why I'm also going to be refurbishing or redesigning them so that they would be able to last longer. And yeah, later on in the episode, you'd see me, you won't actually see the landscaping since the recording software was not cooperating with me. It was no cooperation, no nothing, no anything. So I'm very sorry about that. But in the last like thousands, hundreds, not hundreds, tens of episodes of mine are just basically me detailing the city, like a lot of greenery. If you guys want to see me do landscaping, which I'm kind of not good at, you know, I'm not great at it because I don't know. But I think we've grown, we've developed, we've improved over time by playing this game. And yes, now you'd see me placing these buildings. Oh, I got too distracted with my trees tangent there. Now we're placing these buildings because I just wanted to get the scale of this part of the city. And yeah, we're getting we have like these buildings mixed different types of architecture, but mostly they're like Japanese assets because once again I'm taking inspiration from the Tokyo Metropolitan Station and also Tutuban Station, like in the Philippines, because we're basing this off of the Philippines. And Tutuban Station also has like an old station in front of it, which is now a mall, and beside it there's a bigger mall, which is like that corner over there. That's Tutuban Center. Here's a picture of those. Yes, to give you context. And yeah, that's the inspiration for that. I had quite a hard time, you know, finding trains like in the Steam Workshop. I've been purging the Steam Workshop for trains. That's why the asset list is a bit delayed because I can't find good train stations. There were no good train stations. They were like too big, too European, too modern, or just elevated or something. You know, there are a little to no terminus. Yes, that's what I was like having a hard time finding. Terminal stations, like end stations. Most of them are through stations, which trains go through them, with little to no like stations that just the trains end on it. So yeah, I'm just, you know, figuring this skyline out, and I actually placed you saw those like skylines for different cities across the circumferential road. And this building here, those buildings on the side, like the skyline right here for Tundok, I don't think this is gonna stay because I was looking at the Capitol building and this is actually one of the protected vistas of the city. So yeah, we're gonna do something about that. But those are going to be in a later episode or maybe next episode. We never know. And yeah, now you'd see me like change this into an elevated road. Yes, now it's elevated. Wow, magic, amazing. And yeah, a lot of footage has been deleted. I was like so annoyed, but I was like, I mean, you can just rewatch like previous episodes because what I do in each episode is just the same. But if you're new to this, if you just like discovered this channel, I'm terribly sorry for having a lack of landscaping here, but you know, it is what it is. At least you saw a lot of lane markings and me fiddling around with various buildings and mixing aesthetics, and you got like, what do you call this, you got a history lesson and philosophy. This is an all-in-one package. A little bit of comedy here and there, a little bit of this and that, a lot of this and that, and a lot of So yeah, just adding in detailing here, like adding in arrows to make it look cleaner. All of this, all of that, and yes. There's nothing much to talk about now because this is like the end of the episode already. You'd see like a little bit of landscaping. I did a little bit of landscaping, later on. Yes, as you can see it there. I removed the pavement to make like an island for what do you call this? For plants, for like, yeah, we have those palm trees because this is like a tropical country. So we gotta give them the tropical vibe, we gotta make them authentically tropical by putting palm trees, and these palm trees are by Pidelmo, and they are the perfect size because some of them are a little bit too big. Like coconut trees are like 30 meters tall, and they were like, oh my gosh. But yeah, here is the perfect one, and we're just gonna be placing bushes for now. At least you got to see the placement of the bushes. Now on those bushes, in the last episode I placed cypresses on roundabouts or central, like around fountains or circles. I also did that for this one. You'd see them in the cinematics, and I placed the trees in a way that they won't block the view of the clock, because from various different angles, here are some pictures of them, you wouldn't want the people to be not able to see the clock because of a tree blocking it. So yeah, the heights of the trees are defined by the place you're looking at, and it must not obstruct the clock, if you know what I mean. Now we're going to be placing a little bit of a little cafe, a little Starbucks. Yes, why is it not moving? Oh, now it is. So you have a Starbucks there, but yeah, I think I'm not going to be doing too into detail into building in the next episodes, because we want to have longevity and we want to produce as much episodes as we can without sacrificing quality, of course, and also because I'm about to start classes and I need to ramp up production while I still can before having little to no time in making episodes. But I think I'm still going to be reaching for a goal of an episode a week or a video a week. It might be a teaser or like a cinematic of the city, but hopefully we can produce a lot of videos. So if you guys want to support me in like making higher quality videos more frequently, consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Calejandro and become an official citizen of Magayon. Get exclusive access, earlier content, and my asset list. Yes, and a lot of like behind the scenes content as well. And you can also follow me on instagram.com/CalejandroYT, because Calejandro is already taken by somebody I don't know, somebody that I used to know. Anyways, if you can't like follow me, support me on Patreon, you can still subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you'd be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. Only 30% of you are subscribed, and we are almost at 3,000 subscribers. So if you want to help me reach the goal of 3,000 subscribers, that would mean a bunch. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below any suggestions you want to see next. And yeah, this is Calejandro signing off. Bye.